That was a shit clap. Get it in front of me.
Where else? What? Huh? What are you gonna do? Huh?
I'm gonna suck your dick.
Aight.
I'm gonna suck your. At actress's request, we're gonna do the Wim Hof Method to start this, and
We were gonna do it anyways. I just wanted to record it.
You can skip it if you want. We'll talk after. It's 11 minutes, so
you can skip it, or you can join us if you'd like.
Skip to
about 11 minutes.
About 11 minutes in. Can I? Will we? Oh.
Hi guys.
We don't even need that.
No. I like the pace though. I like the pace he goes at in this.
Oh no, I'm not talking. We don't need the video, the audio. I mean, but I want to have it in the background of this.
Yeah.
Is it still recording? Okay. Oh shit, we going? Oh dog, we going? Yeah, this will get annoying. Our breathing. Oh no. It froze. Oh yeah, the Wi-Fi's off.
That's fine.
I think we're there. Let go. I'll use the timer on this to count it. Oh shit, nigga. Mysterious. I don't feel like poo anymore. I don't understand.
It's crazy, right? Another cycle or? We're gonna finish the whole thing. We told them 10 minutes.
Let it go. Round number 2.
Yeah, I turned off the Wi-Fi and then I expected YouTube to work. I'm throwing middle fingers at you right now. shit. Nigga trying to prove himself so. They got so much to prove. You got so much to prove, bro. Your face got so red. I'm like, bro.
No, yeah, you're supposed to do the squeeze.
I don't give a fuck about no squeeze, nigga. I'm already hot. I'm already hot. I'm already hot, nigga.
Let this one go. Just let it play.
What do you mean?
Like on the hold, just let it play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Back into that rhythm. Breathe out. Breathe. In release, relaxation. Out with distress. Into the belly, into the chest, and let go. Light away. Make it circle. Breathe in, let it go. Just keep on going. No pause between inhalation and exhalation. In peace, stress. And move. Again, let it go. Nice, deep circle. 5 more. Let's give it all we got. Last one. In. And on the exhale, 1.5 minute breath hold from now on. Become aware of the blood running through your veins, your heart beating. Feel. Seconds left. You are almost there. Do you want to prolong your breath hold? Pause the video now and continue when you feel the urge to breathe. All right. Breathe in and hold for 15 seconds.
Damn, niggas really out here just doing whatever the fuck they want in this podcast. Goddamn. It's like, yeah, let's fuck it. We fucking. We fucking. Motherfucking. Oh my, that's so funny. It's so funny. Your face when we do this is so funny. Ah. All right.
Did you take a picture?
Yeah. You want to see it?
Yeah.
Really just do whatever the fuck we want. I like it. It's got free.
I just got my ass beat, bro. Let me see it again. You're gonna make that the cover for this week?
That's so funny. You look like you're taking a shit, but you just woke up, and it's a big shit.
You're like, get out of me.
You're like, oh god.
You know, you're supposed to do the squeeze. He only really explains that in the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah, I squeeze. I just don't squeeze like a squeeze.
Because like the actual squeezing is there's three locks in yoga. It's called the Tin Band, I think. So it's you squeeze your there's three things. You squeeze your anus, your navel, and then your neck goes in. So you squeeze all three. What it's supposed to do is supposed to drive life force energy up to your brain and like into the pineal gland.
Have you heard of root locks?
Yeah, that's the thing. Root lock.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
It's
What is it? What have you heard about it?
It's to detangle the knots in your lower chakras, so your kundalini cannot be stuck in the first one. Because I think the kundalini is always dormant in the first.
Yeah.
Isn't that the thing? It's always dormant in the first.
It's
chakra.
in the first, and then it.
Does it when you have
up.
that? Does it stay or does it just go up and down?
I
Like
think
Kundalini awakening. Is it just like it's a spurt that just goes up, or does it gradually go up each chakra, or like how does that work?
It goes up gradually through each chakra, but it gets to a
Over
point
time, or is it just like
through meditation? I think
Okay.
you can do it through meditation.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly.
I've heard of Kundalini meditation.
Because there's like I'm sure this is what happens when Maharaji does the thing. Literally, he commands people's kundalini to go up to their ajna, which is their third eye, and it just stays there. So they're like, they're literally
Did
out
you
of their
try
bodies.
the form the meditation I sent you, the Ram Dass one?
Which one?
It's this one where you, I don't even know, how do I explain this? You kind of just, you imagine a hole in your heart, but like the middle, not the left side, like the middle,
Iron Man.
and then a one in the top of your head, and then when you breathe in, I think it's 3 breath movements. So breathe in, you bring the form, the universe within the chest, and then you breathe out. How does it work? And then you breathe it out through your head, I think, into the formless, and your head would be the formless. So you literally just go into formlessness.
No, I haven't tried that one.
And then you do 1 breath in the formlessness, and then you breathe in, bring it down, and then breathe out through the chest again.
Oh, okay. So it's like I see. It's like a cycle in, out.
You go in and out of basically being one with everything. So you in and out of form. That's what I mean. With time, it probably feels realer. The more you do it, at first it's like it's just an exercise. At first, it's just an exercise, just a mental imagination exercise.
You're into like this still like, what the fuck am I doing?
Because that's how he describes Maharaji. It's like one moment, every breath, like it's by breath, the way he goes into form and formless. Like you can see, like one moment he's
and
God,
that's another interesting link
there.
with like people that have very like short, like shallow breathing patterns. They're always in a rush. They feel like there's not enough time because that's your counter, right? Your heartbeat is your counter for the moment. So when you're literally your nervous system is stressed.
Is it called pranayama?
Pranayama is just like breath work. It's energy manipulation through breath.
Okay, because I think that's the whole point of that. It's the way you breathe is probably affects your state of being all the time.
100%.
Of course, because that's what keeps you alive.
And I guess there's like different ones to reach different states, like the Wim Hof.
There's the one you showed me. I forgot what it's called, but there's a name for it. I came across it. The one where you
Kapalbhati.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
That one's interesting.
It's hard to do it for a long period of time, I found.
It activates your core. Like,
don't you do it 108 times?
108.
That's cool.
What it does is there's probably more benefits. I'm not sure, but this is what I know it does. It stimulates blood flow to your organs. Right, your diaphragm is going in and out. Yeah. So your organs clean itself out, and it's very good for like your lymphatic system getting rid of waste. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And like becoming unsick.
Oh no!
What?
I had a cool thing to say and I forgot.
Yeah, I feel like it'll come back.
Oh God! can you just have a moment of silence just so I could try to find this thought again?
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it go. How long do you think it takes? Do you think people ever really change?
In terms of.
Because I
terms
was
of what?
like in my whole little trip of self pity I was going in through tomorrow. I was like, I'm still the same nigga. like
Like your personality.
not necessarily, well, that too, but like also, God damn it, but also it's gonna keep. Does that matter? Nah. Yeah, it does.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, it's just this, so it doesn't dim the screen every
Oh.
5 minutes.
Like when you get anxious and like the awareness thing.
Nah, bro, I've been trying to get rid of the same shitty habits for like 3-4 years now, and it's still there. And how, like, is it that you gradually get out of it, or one day you just wake up and you just don't care about the thing you've been doing for?
I think it can be both. I think you have to kind of work your way there, and one day through whatever practice or whatever experience you may have,
Yeah.
that kind of just like slaps you in the face, and your brain gets rewired some way. It's like, nah, I'm not ever doing that again.
Yeah, because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how it feels like sometimes you're just looping, and no matter how hard you try, you always end up back, like,
Right, the same thought patterns.
with the same thought patterns,
Yeah.
the same behaviors, and like,
Well, Ram Dass kind of explains it where he says like my neuroses are exactly the same. I haven't gotten rid of any of them.
so I guess that's the thing, huh?
Yeah. It's just that the space between the thought and the reaction is widened, so he can decide whether he wants to act on it or not. Because I mean, like we
That's
are,
so weird.
because we are like the stars, right? So like with us, with astrology, like you have a certain life path and certain personality. So I feel like it's kind of set in stone, but you can like pick up traits, you can let go of some, but it's kind of like, I don't know.
Because that's so weird how, like, if you don't like your personality, there's no necessarily changing it. Your job is to just train your awareness of things you do. Train your awareness that you could become aware of things you do. So that you, like how he says, like, through all of the 30, 20 plus years he's been meditating consistently, all of the shit, the drugs he did that rewire your brain, all of that, he hasn't gotten rid of one neurosis. Like, it's still all there. But back then when it came in, it was like, but now it's just little things that he just, hey, come in. Hey, sexual perversion, come in, have tea. And that's like, it's cool. It's funny because he's a great public speaker. And it's funny when he says it and it sounds so simple, but man, that shit is, oh my, being able to catch a fucking behavior.
That's the one thing that I actually commend Twitter for, like people that use Twitter, because there's a space there that people can kind of objectify their thinking and make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
But whether to speak on whether they're actually fully identified or not, or the space of awareness is like allowing them like a change in action, I don't know. But it's funny to see people be like, oh, that happened. I did this weird perverted thing that like, there's space there.
Yeah.
And people are expressing objective truth or whatever actions they're
Until it just
doing.
becomes entertainment, then it's not really.
And then it's like, oh, keep scrolling. You have that one moment of realization, and then you keep scrolling. Reset.
Because, Because how do you get to a point where you can catch it before? And it's so weird. It's like that's the thing the witness teaches you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you try to actually tell yourself what you're doing every day as an exercise. So right now, I'd say if I'm doing the exercise, I'm going in my head, right now I'm doing a podcast with Akris at school.
Watching myself form this sentence.
Watching myself do, and we're talking about this and that, and I feel this way right now. And then when we're done, right now I am packing up, blah, blah, blah. And you just do that exercise over and over again. I guess that's what that gives you, because now you can become aware of, like, you kind of separate yourself from things. And that's how Ram says he got rid of his addiction to food. Because no matter what he tried, he kept, like, he'd be fasting for like 9 days, 3 days, 1 day. But in the entire time that he's fasting, he's fantasizing about the next meal, until he tried this meditation. I think, is it Ramakrishna or Ramana Maharshi? I think, where you go, who am I? Oh yeah, it's actually from that book from Ramana Maharshi. I think it's called Who Am I? And I think in the book he talks about the meditation when you're like, who am I?
Isn't it like just renouncing your body?
It's basically an ego death.
But the steps are
it's
like
mentally-
renouncing one part of your body at a time,
mentally
right?
getting yourself to ego death, but it's a hard meditation because it's like
because you have to reset.
you have to
If you
have to
lose-
go. Yeah, if you get to a point where you notice, if you go, I am not my body, and you go up the next level, and then you go, oh shit, I feel a pain in my knee. You just identified with your body, so then you have to restart. Okay, am I my body? And then the way you have to say, it's a big mental exercise that, like, if you don't have full faith doing it, you're not gonna go through it. But once you go through all of it and you get to the point where you're like, I am not this thought. What thought am I not? This one. Boom, you're just fully gone. And then from there,
That's very complicated. That's a very complicated
bro, like
one. Simple, but fuck.
No, I don't. I think when I got introduced to that, I was like, nah, this is something I'm gonna do way later when I'm deep into it. Right now, like, for me, of the dozens of meditations that you can do, I'm just picking the simplest one, because I realize this is a long journey, bro.
And even bro, like, even choosing the simplest one is, bro, I start to fall asleep when I do Vipassana. I can feel my awareness like getting lazy and just like
sitting still.
Well, no, when I do Vipassana,
Is that
the nose one, the breath awareness sensations, where I just focus on the sensation that my breath creates.
Yeah, but like position wise, are you just sitting and you still fall asleep? That's
sitting.
weird. That's
well,
so weird.
or when I do it on the bus, at least. When I do it on the bus, I'm like, I just fall asleep.
Because you're sitting.
But I used to be fine. Like, I used to be okay. I used to be able to sustain the concentration. So now I kind of have to like keep switching meditations, which I don't know if it's good or not, but it keeps my brain like kind of switching different modes. Like, one day it's this, one day it's a push up, one day it's a jump, sort of thing. You know?
I don't think it's something you.
So it's complicated because like you're not really specializing in one thing. You're just using different forms.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So I don't know if it's good or bad.
I think it's whatever you're drawn to, because the thing is, he says that like at first you do spiritual practice, and then eventually it starts to do you. Like, it starts to be this thing that just like it kind of takes control in a way, and you know,
Whatever
like
that means,
the whole point of the practice is to let go of everything.
Yeah.
And to let go of who you thought you were. Bro, the most beautiful quote is there's grieving when who you thought you were starts to disappear. There's a certain grief. There's a certain grief, because it's like for 20 years, 22 years, you've been Acris. Is it 22 or 23?
22.
Oh man,
23 this June.
I always forget if it's 22 or 23.
I forget sometimes.
To be in my head, you're like 20.
In my head, I'm like
5.
I'm just here now, bro. I could be 5. I could be 4 even.
In your head, nigga, you're like in like
everywhere.
I was gonna say 5th lifetime, but you're probably on like 5 million. Yeah. You're probably on lifetime like 6 million and 500,000.
Well, it's definitely not my first time here, because like,
yeah, definitely.
look at these clothes. I'm well clothed. I'm not starving. You know, like, I'm fine. That's a awareness joke.
But yeah, for like 22 years, you thought you were this person, and then the whole practice kind of, it's.
I mean, but even then, it's like, oh, I'm not this guy anymore. But the thing is, like, you're still attached to the idea of always having to let it go. No, you can still flow in and out of the identity.
It's your robot. Like, that's your robot.
That's your temple. Yeah, you can play with it.
Until then, it's flipped. Like, as I've been saying, and the reason why these things keep getting repeated, I realize, is because as simple as they are, the application when like being in form, knowing that form is not all there is, and then trying to get to the formless while you've been in form your whole life is the weirdest thing. And it's just the way out of it is the most simple thing. But the fact that you've been doing it for so long that there's going to be a moment when you're like,
and the thing is,
let me
like,
just binge watch right now.
Yes, but you also float in and out of form all the time, but you don't realize it.
Unless you're it's constant.
No, I think you still can. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't think you go in and out of form. You don't have the thought of having form or identity at certain points, because it's like the creative process, right? Where does the idea come from?
Yeah,
it's not from here. It's not from form. It's from the thought that doesn't exist, and now it is a thought. Thought comes from the thoughtless.
Which plane do you think you're grabbing creative ideas from? Astral, causal, or
I don't know, because don't we only have access to the fifth? Because we're in the don't we have only access?
I've
to
heard
the
of
fourth?
I've heard of many, but the
we're in
main
the
ones are, I think the one after this physical plane is the astral plane, and then after the astral plane is causal plane, and then after is when it gets weird.
Yeah, there's like hundreds.
Because there's the plane where it's like before everything existed, which is where the Om is, like before the word. You know, in the beginning was the word.
Awareness itself.
Before the word, like there's a plane there, and
there's within each chakra. Well,
so weird.
Within each chakra, it's kind of a representation of dimensions as well. Within each chakra is seven, an exponential. Like within each chakra is 7 domains, and within each 7 of those is 7. It's like 7. It's exponential 7s. So like it's infinite. It can go on forever.
Do you think there's a difference between what's it called, delusion and faith? I was actually gonna ask that question last week, but I totally forgot.
That's a good one. Delusion.
Cause let's delusion in terms of.
I think yes. I think with delusion there's a huge amount of ego involved, because it's like, faith is more like.
Because could delusion be this thing? See, like, because if it's ego driven, delusion would be this. The way that I think the world is supposed to be is how it's going to be, or is how it is, blah, blah, blah.
I think delusion would be more what I want it to be rather than what it is. For example...
So delusion... Oh, okay.
For example, delusion, Liverpool are on top of the table. There's no one's catching them. We're going to win the league. Mm-hmm. Delusion would be to say Manchester City are still the best team in England, where they're clearly not. Whereas faith would be, we don't have the league this year. However, I have faith in my team that we can still come back next season and be better than Liverpool. Yeah. And I have faith in that.
What do you think in terms of people? Because delusion, because I was speaking about this in terms of, in a context of like a relationship. Because there starts to be a fine line between it. And either it could be friends or romantic partners. Because let's say I'm your friend and you're going through a phase where you just do negative shit all the time. You just do bad shit. Do it. Yeah, okay. Like you start stealing, or like you start doing like hard drugs. Like you develop a dependence on cocaine. And then is it delusional to believe in the fact that you'll one day get off it, even though you continue to keep repeating that behavior? Or is it faith to believe that one day you're going to get out of it? Because if you end up not getting out of it, was I being delusional this entire time? Or was I just having faith in you? Where does the difference come in between those two?
I think...
Is it faithful to believe in someone when they're in a shitty place that they'll get out of it?
I think that depends on the action you take towards me. It's like, why do you want me to get better? Is it... Is it so you can help me with something else, or is it because you want the best for me? If you want the best for me, you're gonna give me the proper resources, right? To
Yeah.
get out of that space, whatever it is. But if you want something from me, then I feel like the interaction is tainted, and that in itself is going to lead to that delusion not coming true, and that faith you call it not coming true. So it's I think the fine line is it kind of moves with your actual belief, or intent.
Isn't it just it's so just thin?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will call people delusional when, let's say, in a relationship when the boyfriend or the girlfriend is treating the other wrong, and then the other one's like, but I love him. You know, like in those movies, or even like when people like on Twitter and you find out someone's been in an abusive relationship, and why haven't you spoken up? Because I just loved him and I hope that he would change. Is that a negative? Because that's clearly because the person has love for that other person.
I think it could be negative.
Or is it ego driven because that person doesn't want to be wrong about that other person? So they just keep telling themselves that.
I think that's completely ego, because let's say I'm doing the negative stuff, or let's say you're doing the negative stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm being abused. So me not standing up for myself, me not like showing you and giving you this awareness that, hey, what, like, fuck you, right? You know, that's me fearful of the fact that I'm going to lose you because I don't want to lose you.
So it's attachment.
It's an ego, it's an attachment thing. Whereas if it's faith, like, I know this person deep down is not intending to hurt me. Some shit's going on, whatever.
Yeah.
You meet it with love, whether that be fucking a punch in the face or just like emptiness. Watch what you're doing to me. Like,
yeah.
Where that can kind of be suited to each situation, right? Like how intense or violent you can get. It's the mirror, right? It's the emptiness inside of me that allows you to see what you're doing. Whereas if you're doing something and inside of me there's something that grabs onto that action and doesn't let it go, wants to hold it, whatever it is, then that can lead to delusion, I think.
Yeah. Cause in that situation, it's really just I don't want to be wrong once, and two, I can't let go.
And it's like, oh, poor this guy. He's like, I'm the receiver of all this violence, but I still feel pity for you, so I'm gonna let you keep doing it because I think that if I stop this, that you're gonna stop loving me and that you're gonna just blow up.
Damn.
Because I'm the stimulus that keeps you quote unquote happy in this state.
Will we say that delusion is reactive and faith is more proactive, and in terms of you don't react and you kind of do something about it?
I think that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. I was going to say something.
I'm still mad. I forgot what I was going to say earlier.
Yeah. Oh, listen, randomly.
She got me so excited.
Randomly, I was doing research on
Jeez.
yesterday on my project, and I was like, it was on water, so I looked up some like Paul Check resources.
I was researching water.
So I looked up some Paul Check resources, and I came across like just this video that I watched this morning, and he re-explains the cross in a kind of a different matter, even though I explained it last week. It kind of is the same thing, but he there's some new things to it. So the horizontal axis, which I said was
Time.
the animal's spine, and also just the body, and also time. That is, so you're living in time. That is objective, which I was like, how is it objective? Objective is the very truth, right?
Yeah.
But then he was like, it's objective because you're in a body and science believes that this is only true if this experiment can be repeated. So this caffeine is only truly bad for you if this population suffer however % of deaths
Related to caffeine?
consistently, significantly related to caffeine, yeah. Whereas the vertical line is subjective, right? So it's kind of in the domain of spirit where like, I say a certain word, I say nigger, and you're okay with it, right? Because that's subjective. To you, that's nothing. To you, there's no reaction. There's nothing inside of you to hold on to it. In fact, you're laughing. Whereas if I say it to someone else, that subjectiveness is going to make them want to punch me in the face.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought that was interesting because it's like both of those exist in the now, which is here.
Mm-hmm.
The subjectiveness and the objective.
You meet
Yeah.
in the middle.
So I think that's interesting. Oh, yeah. And I read this passage on the way to today podcast.
On the way to today.
Yeah. Bro, fuck language, man. I can't. Where is it? Let me find it. Yeah, it kind of touches on. So, in the remote past, so Frobenius thinks, man first assimilated the phenomena of vegetation and animal life, and then conceived an idea of time and space. Now he plays this great processional order of existence in a sacred play, and in through which he actualizes anew or recreates the events that represented and thus helps to maintain the cosmic order. So it's like, this shit is like subjectively true through spirit or like just ritual, right? Like certain things are true. Seasons are true.
Mm-hmm.
Seasons happen. So you kind of honor that by having rituals. Be like, oh, I offer you this. Give me rains. This, like, get rid of these droughts sort of thing.
Mm.
So that's like play, right? It's like, is it really even doing anything? And he also touches on when we are to, who are we to make, like on ritual, who are we to make of a mental process that begins with an unexpressed experience of cosmic phenomena and ends with an imaginative rendering of them within play, ritual. So the instinct, so that's like, why do we do it, right? Who are we to say that this ritual has any significance?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just, that's nonsense. Why do you pray 5 times a day? Why do you meditate? Close your eyes. Like that's nonsense. Why do you fast? Right? So Frobenius is right to discard this facile hypothesis, which contents itself with hypothecating an innate play instinct. So the term instinct, he says, is a makeshift and an admission of helplessness before the problem of reality.
I'm gonna hypothecate.
So he rejects the human obsolete thinking of the tendency to explain every advance in culture in terms of a special purpose, right? Why, wherefore. It's kind of poetic the way he explains it. It's a tyranny of causality at its worst. So there's been wait, I'm getting
You're a
to
terrible
another
reader.
point. And yeah, this is probably so uninteresting to listen to, bro.
You're a terrible reader, bro.
I am, bro, because I'm just reading this now, so I'm still like, assimilating this. Okay, the conception Frobenius has of the mental process in question is roughly as follows. In archaic man, the experience of life, nature still unexpressed, takes the form of a seizure, being seized on, thrilled, enraptured. The creative faculty in a people, as in the child or every creative person, springs from this state of reality of the natural rhythm of genesis and extinction. Fuck, I'm terrible. The reality of the natural rhythm of genesis and extinction has seized hold of his consciousness. This inevitably, and by reflex action, leads him to represent his emotion in an act.
I have no idea what you just said.
Fuck, bro, I'm so terrible. Let me reread that last part. That's the one I found interesting. The reality of this natural rhythm of genesis and extinction has seized hold of man's consciousness. This inevitably, and by reflex action, instinct, leads him to represent his emotion in an act. So it's like, why? Why do we do rituals, right? It's kind of like instinct. This is the way. It's like it's being channeled down through source. That this is the way it's supposed to be.
It's dense, bro.
Bro, I'm on page 16. I started this 2 weeks ago. Like, this is too much. Like the way I really love I really love how he like his
She
writing is very objective.
She dance, cuz.
Yeah.
You kill. Let me read something. Since we're reading here.
Fuck.
This is a reading class. Bro, this is so cool when you just don't care about entertaining people. We're just talking, just vibe. This is like what we do when we're not recording. Man and his bro, I have no money. Like I have no money. Like niggas broke. I haven't been this broke in a minute.
I've been saving 80% and only spending 20.
I need, bro, like I've been trying to save for 3 years and it's not working. Anyways, fucking senses, bro. I'm so cheesed. Fucking foreign, bro. Man in his waking state put. I was criticizing you.
Me?
Man in his waking state puts forth innumerable efforts for experiencing sensual pleasures. When the entire group of sensory organs is fatigued, he forgets even the pleasure on hand and goes to sleep in order to enjoy rest in the soul, his own nature. Shankara, the great Vedantis has written, ultra sensual bliss is thus extremely easy of attainment and is far superior to sense delights, which always end in disgust. So when you indulge too much in your
disgusting
senses, you always end up disgusting yourself. That's so funny because it's true.
It's true. It's 100% true, bro.
It's so true. And what do? You go to sleep because sleep is.
That's poetic. The way he puts sleep. That's interesting.
Yeah,
because it's not even like resting your body. It's just essence.
And it's
isness.
It's required. Like it's something you die without, unless you get to a point where you don't need it. The Sleepless Saint chapter of this book, he explains. Actually, let me find it for you.
Bro,
how he explains
past 2 days. Well, not including yet. Last night I slept pretty well, but past 2 days, like I only slept 9 hours in 2 days.
You can force.
So 4 and 5, and I was meditating like 5 minutes in between.
You can definitely.
And I didn't feel that tired. And today I woke up with only like 6-7 hours of sleep.
You can definitely force. I found.
And it doesn't, bro. It's not even forcing. From like I feel.
Yeah, that's why. Like you don't.
I feel okay.
You're fine. I think. I saw this video. I should probably watch it and then talk about it. It's
I wonder what it is though, right?
Meditate more, sleep less.
Yeah.
The Sleepless Saint chapter. He goes into this guy who hasn't slept in like, what was it? He was meditating like 18 to 20 hours a day, and then the rest he was just awake, probably like eating or just being silent. And then he just didn't need sleep. When he asked him why, he says the muscles relax during sleep, but the heart, lungs, and circulatory system are constantly at work. They get no rest. In super consciousness, all internal organs remain in a state of suspended animation, electrified by the cosmic energy. By such means, I have found it unnecessary to sleep for years. The time will come when you too will dispense with sleep. So it's kind of this thing where if you're in a state where samadhi is basically that, like, and I forget what the last one is called, the last state of samadhi, when they just fully just leave
their bodies,
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they just choose not to come back. Doesn't mean
crazy.
Doesn't mean they're necessarily dead.
No, yeah. Well,
if you don't believe in that, the body's the
body's dead.
I don't need this anymore. And I think there's a story of a saint who
clinically dead,
of a yogi who went into samadhi, but he left, but he kept his body alive enough that his nails still grew and his body never decomposed. But he wasn't aware enough to speak to anyone. He just kind of showed that he was still here by just letting his shit grow. And then
was his heart beating?
Keeping his I don't know if they said that. I just remember them mentioning his nails still and hair still grew and his body never really decomposed. So people would just go on pilgrimage to just see him and then just touch him and like, you know how they just bow and kiss your feet, reverence. All that.
The reverence game.
And that's very weird. But that makes sense because like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. But it makes sense.
It can make sense.
It makes sense in practice.
I can believe why it can make sense.
It makes sense in practice. There was a night I couldn't go to sleep. So I was just like, fuck it, let me just meditate. I meditated for a bit, and I think it substitutes it.
I think so
somehow.
too, because like, because like when I went to the Vipassana,
I don't know how either.
when I went to the Vipassana, they also said like you won't need as much sleep once you start meditating.
So weird.
Because it's like the awareness.
Because you're not moving.
You're not moving. Your muscles are like not really doing.
And do you find that
anything.
you always get a bit more awake after a meditation session?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because like the lack of senses, it's like absence makes the heart grow fonder.
it's basically
So
like rest, yeah.
the lack of sensation, when you come back to it, it's like whoa.
And you go into a place that's like
Yeah.
meditation, you go into a place that's
Darkness.
rejuvenating.
Yeah.
Like you're going
It's so yin. Like yeah.
you're going towards God, like, and you're so yin that when you get out of it, you're yang as
Yeah. You're ready to
motherfucker.
receive.
You're yang as a motherfucker because you empty, because that's what you're doing. You're emptying yourself.
And
then
when
you're
I
out
went to
of
the
it-
Vipassana, I was about to say, like they say before you go to sleep, just meditate, or like lie down and meditate.
oh, bro, it makes falling
and-
asleep so
Oh,
weird.
so easy.
Not even easy, just weird.
Weird
the
too.
process of going to sleep is so
Yeah.
weird when I meditate
Because
and do mantra.
when you do that, it's like you sense your body
I
asleep.
sense my body going to sleep.
Your body
and
doesn't move, and your
so
your
weird,
awareness,
bro.
your awareness is just like, I'm here. What is this place?
So weird.
What is this place?
Because like you still lose consciousness, but you kind of feel like you were aware of yourself sleeping the entire time. I don't know how to explain it. Like the few times the past few weeks that I've done it, where I would properly, like, I'd shut everything off, meditate for a bit, for like 30 minutes or something, and then like go to just lay down and then do mantra and then wait until I just fall asleep. And then until then, I'm just, oh my padme hum, oh my, like I'm just, and I'm just posted, just waiting. It could take anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And my job is to just be patient and just wait for it to come. But the thing is, I never notice when I fall asleep, but I always notice myself falling asleep.
Yeah.
So I notice my body.
That's
it's-
the
It
weirdest
feels
thing,
like
bro.
it feels like I'm like my body starts to like, you start to feel it vibrating a bit. You start to kind of
the
feel it.
stiffness.
Yeah, you feel it like get stiff.
That
and you
is actually the weirdest thing.
And then
you never actually know the moment you fall asleep.
never know the moment you fall asleep, but you're aware of when you're falling asleep.
We're aware of the process. Of
Yeah,
falling
you're
asleep.
aware when you're getting there, and then the in between the when you fall asleep and when you wake up. When you wake up, you feel like you've been aware of that moment the entire time. And at the end of
don't know if I get
in the
that.
third chapter of Be Here Now, he talks about it. As you start to do mantra before you go to sleep, and as you just start to just clear your mind, because you know when you go to sleep, a big
Yeah.
thing that people have is this thing where they just start thinking
yeah.
so much about like some shit they do when they're 13 and they're like 35 now.
Whereas
and
the
they just
whole
start-
day they haven't thought about it
You know?
even once.
And-
And now's the time.
and they do, and then that happens. But if you clear your mind and replace it with mantra, because it's the whole point of mantra, right? It becomes a dominant thought in your head.
Well, not even just replace it. It's just a watcher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it becomes a dominant thought. So that when anything comes up that isn't the mantra, you're like,
Yeah.
"Who are you?
Yeah. Get out of here.
Get out of here!" So when you do that, you become aware of the process of going to sleep, and then in that, lucid dreams probably become more of a
yeah.
recurring thing because
I've had
it
my
gives you
only
so
lucid
much-
dream
I've
during
never even-
Vipassana.
I've never
only
lucid
lucid
dream.
dream.
Say a word.
Only.
it's
And I didn't, bro. It was my first one, so I was so like,
You just freaked out.
whoa. I was like, whoa, I can do anything right now. And the lucidness only lasted. It was gone. It was gone. I went into a cafe.
But you're also dreaming, so
Yeah.
you
So
try
it was
and-
like I went into a coffee shop, and then I left. Whatever, blah blah blah. And then I went into the exact same coffee shop. And
it's
I'm like,
crazy how
wait,
you're aware of it.
wait. I've been in this exact same coffee shop before. This is a dream. I can do
That's
whatever.
so
I was like, I can do whatever I want right now, but I don't wanna.
Bro,
I don't wanna be
want that.
like. I don't wanna be. What's the word? I don't want to be obtrusive to the people, the thoughts in my dream, the beings in my dream. I don't want to be obtrusive.
You know, this is just you doing your astral work, right? In dreams, like that's just you going to do your astral work, and that's why dream interpretation is important.
Yeah.
because this is your astral business. Like when you're dreaming, you're just in the astral realm. Like that's the only place you go.
That was actually the weirdest thing to me, because even when I had the control in the dream and the awareness, I was like, I don't want to I don't want to disrupt this world.
Isn't it weird how all your senses and your thoughts still work while you're dreaming? Like you feel shit?
Because it's the brain that receives all the sensation of like the nerves and like the skin. So it's like your brain is actually just creating it.
It's so weird. Like you can
And
still,
that's why, like, bro,
you can still
VR
think while dreaming. It's so weird.
I've had dreams where I can fly and it's amazing. Those are the best because you can just like,
Man,
and for me it's like linked with my breathing. So
the amount of shit we don't know is crazy. Like consciousness is just, it's such a weird thing.
And I heard in some podcasts, it's like the deeper you actually go into whatever it is,
Yourself,
the more nothing there is.
the less special.
The more you go, deeper you go into the atom, the more nothing you find. The more nothingness you find.
And it's the same in
that's what we're trying to
spiritual
figure
too.
out.
It's the same in spiritual path too. The more you go in, the less you can actually see. But the more you do see, like you're like what does he say? It's special until it's nothing special. Like eventually, it's just
It's special.
because even the experiences
it's like
that you
this
have,
is special until everything else in this room is also special. So this loses its significance.
yeah. Because if you start to make it special, then you're missing the point. You're becoming, it's ego's work. Like, oh man, let me.
Because everything is special.
Oh, this meditation is so delicious. I feel so good all the time. That's experience. Experience, you're missing the point. Like, even eventually, you're gonna have to let go of your experiences too. So every stage you get, and then a nice little thing happens where you're super zenned out and you're just meditating. It feels like you're just in tune. Like God is just here, and it's just a nice little dance, and you're not moving, but you're moving. And I've had that where it feels like there's a wave coming in and out, and I feel myself just rotating with the earth, and like I can feel myself in the 36,000 miles per hour that the earth is spinning at, and I'm just nice. But that's just an experience. So it's not.
It's fleeting.
If I start to focus on that, I'm missing the point. If I start to focus on that, I'm focusing on the hand pointing to the moon instead of the moon.
And I just to backtrack a little bit, I think it's a pretty good like analogy as to
Everything really.
the essence of reality or essence of source, which is if I assign special significance to this book and this book only, I will become attached, and everything else around it will lose its significance. The material world, right?
Everything else is
Consequence.
It's just not this book. That's
Consequences.
the label of everything. There's this book, and then there's not this book.
Whereas everything in this room, down to its particle, is special. So this book loses its particular significance. It still is significant, but it loses its particular significance. So it's like kind of destroys the value of it because everything else is also just as valuable. But that's where you get the choice to pity the loss of significance of this book, or to embrace the beauty of the fact that everything is significant.
Everything is sacred.
Everything's sacred.
I really want to meditate, so let's just end this.
Yeah, that's a good place to end it. Bye.